Hey love, I'm your relationship coach, Janelle. Welcome to this episode of Ish I Saw on TikTok. Today we're talking about the fact that hobosexual season is back. Ladies, do not get played. I've got some tea straight from women's perspectives, and trust me, you'll want to weigh in. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and join my exclusive coffee community for coaching prompts and interactive activities that'll help you stay one step ahead in dating.
Hey ladies, I just want to let y'all know the weather is cooling down. It's getting a little chillier outside, and you know what that means. That means if you as a woman have your own apartment, you are in danger of becoming the next victim of a professional hobosexual. A hobosexual is a man who has not yet secured his own housing and is looking to show romantic interest in you for the purpose of making your house his house, okay? It's never really appropriate to do house dates early on anyways, but it's definitely not appropriate in these chillier seasons, okay? It's not the time for Netflix and chill. You're gonna wake up from the Netflix and chill and he's gonna have all of his stuff moved into your room. You thought he was packing a spend the night bag and he actually was packing a spend the month bag, okay? So when you getting to know these men, when y'all first start dating, you first start texting, now is the time to start asking, sir, do you have a home? Do you have a place to lay your head? Because that place can't be here. It cannot be here. Especially if you living in one of those real nice high-rise apartments, because they're looking to level up. They're looking to level up on your dime and on your back, okay? So just be real careful, all right? All right.
Girl, I don't know what it is about me that people just approach me with some bullshit. Like, I know I'm friendly. That's what it is. That's what the fuck it is. So let's have a story time. So yesterday, I'm leaving a dispensary, minding my black ass business. I sit at the bus stop. You know what I'm saying? I see this motherfucking mongrel walking back and forth. And I only say mongrel because he's making it very fucking obvious that he's staring at me. First of all, Buddy look like some shit out of Thriller. I'm not even finna hold you. Looking very hungry, very, mischievous. Like, I don't know what the fuck was happening. So, of course, he gets to talking. Here the fuck we go. And I know motherfuckers be like, just ignore him. Like, bitch, these motherfuckers is crazy. And he already look like he bite people. So, bitch, I'm being cool. So he gets to talking. You very beautiful. Thanks, sir. Thank you. The bus comes. Of course, I get on the bus. Of course, he wants to sit next to me on the bus. He having further conversation. My man told me that he got arrested twice in a 2-week span. For guns, mind you. The same charge. Twice in 2 weeks. Then proceeds to tell me how I look like I have it together. And how he's fresh out the county. And, Now, I don't know much about algebra. But if you're getting caught for the same crime in the same 2 weeks, that sounds like you don't have a home. Because it gives you're at the scene of the crime on the regular. Like, where do you live? Why are you not putting yourself inside, away from danger? And from the language that you're giving to me, sir, it seems like you are looking for a place to live. Because this is not the first time a man has told me you look like you have it together. And the last man that said that absolutely asked me if he can give me penis and massages and cleaning in exchange for a room. I don't know what about me gives innkeeper, but these motherfuckers don't give a. They don't care. I said, sir, we are on the same bus. Like, what? My man was like, yo, you're my dream woman. Like you like a dream come true. Bitch, I look like a hot meal is what the fuck is giving. This is not to shame the homeless community. I have been housing insecure myself. This is to shade you motherfuckers who think you finna live up in somebody else's shit. Do not let these motherfuckers in your house, okay? As soon as you let these motherfuckers in, they're gonna start looking around and imagining themselves on your couch. Baby, I ran out that fucking bus so fast when my stop got there, my AirPod fell out my ear. I had to crouch down under the seat while the door was open and run out to get off that bus. This is twice in my life that I have been approached by a hobosexual. I thought the YMCA takes the void. They don't do that shit no more. What was the song talking about? They need to open up the rooms back up. Because these motherfuckers, it ain't even cold yet. It is still summer. I don't give a damn what the calendar, I don't care what y'all think. It's still summer. It got a little chill in the air and these motherfuckers said, oh, it's time. Because, bitch, what the fuck? What did you think was finna happen? Twice in 2 weeks? What? And you think you finna come to my house? And I'm telling you, the last dude, I swear to God, on the train, that man was like, yeah, like, I be giving girls money to stay at their crib for a few days. This is literally me talking about it. Like, if you go to my Twitter, this is from 4 years ago today. I said all that to say, lock your doors. It's getting cold outside. These motherfuckers are on the loose. You like you got your shit together. Ain't that a bitch? His ass damn near trying to go back to jail so you get them 3 hots in a cot. The fuck? Yes, I did call him a fucking street rat because, girl,
I was the queen of dating apps. I came across a hobosexual just once, actually, not that many times on a dating app. Probably because I knew what to look for. And from that experience, I never got fooled again. One time, a guy asked me out on a date. And I don't know why, but I just felt like we should FaceTime before going on the date. And I asked him, like, hey, can we FaceTime? And he was like, oh, I don't have FaceTime. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, okay, do you have like WhatsApp, like some type of video call? And he goes, no, my internet connection is not good. I was like, okay, well, can we get on a phone call? He's like, okay, yeah, I can arrange for like us to talk over the phone. I was like, cool. I noticed that it was a Google number, but I don't know. I just kind of was like, that's weird, whatever. Maybe he just wants to protect his identity. I don't know. He doesn't know me. Then we start talking on the phone, and I was like, okay, like he sounded really nice and everything. And I was like, okay, what kind of food do you like? You know, I was asking the questions because like I wanted him to get a sense of who I was so he can take me out appropriately. So I was like, okay, so where are you thinking of taking me? And he goes, well, I'm actually right now in my car. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Like you're just like talking in your car, you know? And he goes, no. So I was thinking I can come to your place and maybe we can have like some type of meal. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? And he goes, well, to be honest with you, I'm living in my car. And I was like, you're living in your car? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I don't think like the app is for you right now. Like maybe you should consider like getting off the app and just like working on like getting a job and like a place to stay, so you're not asking like women to come to their home and house you.
Hey guys, we're going to talk about hobosexualism. It deserves its own ism. These are the signs that you are being hobosexualized. Number one, he came over very early on in a relationship and he gave it to you real good. And you were like, oh my God, yes, Cleophas, give it to me. After he gave it to you, he didn't leave. He's still there right now, today. Cleopas has never left. He's still there. Actually, this is 1A. Cleopas smelled so good when he came over. His hair was done. Cleopas was like, yes, sir. He had a nice little like head game in terms of the way that you interacted with each other's minds. And this is sign number 3 that you are with a hobo. And this is HOBO sexual. He was a guy I really liked a lot. So, hey, I think he might know who he is. And he told me this thing. He said, if a man is not doing the 3 F's, and I'm going to tell you the 3 F's, but I have to blank one out because my mom would kill me. Feeding or financing. You have to be doing all 3. You can't be doing 2 of the 3 or 1 of the 3. You have to be doing all 3. That's not your man, girl. That is not your man. He's using you. These hobosexuals, I didn't realize. I mean, I knew. Again, this was a thing. This has always been something. And I know it's somebody out there like, shut up, you messing up everybody, shut up. But hobosexuals. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Stay sweet. Watch out for the hobosexuals, though. I saw one story the girl showed on the channel. She said The dude was living under a bridge, y'all, not the bridge. But he had a whole bed. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway. Love y'all. Bye.
You had fun last night, little mama?
I had a great time last night, but what you got planned today?
Oh, I was just gonna chill here. You know, I see you got Netflix and Hulu. I was just gonna vibe out.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I had no say-so in, but I actually have to go to work today.
Oh, bet. I can drop you off then. Don't you drive a Benz? You ain't even gotta worry about it. I'll make sure you get to work and I'll pick you up.
Ah, see, there you go again, making plans that affect me without including me. Actually, I have to catch a flight, overseas. I just got a promotion, so I'm going to be gone for a few years.
Man, what? That's even better. I'll make sure everything stay the way it is. I'll keep it warm for you. I'll hold it down for you while you gone, shawty.
Well, aren't you exceptional at making plans that only benefit you? Actually, my parents are coming over to see me before I go to spend some quality time alone.
That is not a problem. I can just chill in the back playing 2K. This is why I keep my PS5 on me for times like this. You won't hear a peep out of me.
Aren't you just a master of solutions? Actually, I have a light bill that needs to be paid, and if you could just...
Okay, I'm coming to you guys again with the art of hobosexuality. Hobosexual. For those of you guys who don't know what a hobosexual is, it's someone who uses relationships and sex as a bartering tool to get basic necessities or a house, place to stay, things like that. Or all types of things. And these are their practitioners. So it's levels to this, okay? It's not all unison. There's levels. There's higher up. So let's get into it. Okay, first you have the contract workers, right? So the reason why they actually made the list is sometimes they'll have a contract where they work for 6 months, 7 months, and they get off their contract and they need more work. But they don't immediately go into another job because either it's not available or they're practicing homosexuality, or it not being available is a practice of homosexuality. And they normally rely on their girlfriends or people in their family in order to sustain in between their contracts, because they like the freedom of having the contracts, but don't really want to have a 9 to 5. So their usual people are, we'll say, career woman, young woman, and middle age. The older ladies, by then, they're not dating somebody who's not going to be super manual unless it's like stable. Not saying she can't be a victim. I'm talking about the usual, okay? The next one is the legitimate transitioners. So these are guys that are maybe he's getting his PhD, maybe he's studying for the bar exam in law, but they're legitimately transitioning into a higher level. In between that time, they will practice homosexuality. So the ladies they usually practice that with is usually the career woman or the young lady, because this is normally while he's in between getting to a space. Only thing is with these guys, sometimes they're looking for a way to get a leg up and then they bounce. And then during that time, like she might mommy him. He might get offended by the mammying. He might get offended by that type of work. So he'll, once he get his leg up, he's out. He's going to go do his thing. He's going to get somebody else. It's almost like he left the mom to get with the wife. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, sometimes they'll leave. Sometimes they won't. But you'll see that a lot. The unemployable boyfriend. This is actually the most common form of homosexuality. This guy, basically, he doesn't like to work. He hates to work. His usual excuse is his manager doesn't like him. Every time he get a job, his managers don't like him. Usually have a low job skill level. Also, you'll hear the common excuse of the job is beneath him. So you could get him like a regular job, but he can't do that. He's better than that. You know what I'm saying? So where it does work is struggle love. So struggle love is he's a homosexual and his girlfriend is also in the same realm of like doing a lot of drugs, bumming. So they just kind of ride around on survival mode. The problem comes in that if she starts to upgrade or level up, or if he meets her already in a career and he may have had an odd job at that time, and then it makes it very clear that he's practicing homosexuality later in a relationship. So in that case, he'll, drop her off at work. But when he come back, this gas tank going to be on E. It could have been filled when she
first originally went to work. It's going to be on E. He's driving around doing all types of stuff, okay? So that's him, but he will drop you off, normally addicted to drugs, things like that, or weed, or, whatever. So next we have the jailbird, Both of these guys is in level 2. Okay, the reason why he's in level 2 is because even though he's transitioning, but this could be a permanent transition. It can go too many different ways, okay? This is also one of those wild card ones. For one, how long was he in there? If he was in there 10 plus years, chances are he was blowing backs out or getting his back blown out. You don't know. Definitely could have been gay for the stay. So that's one reason. Second reason is I've heard them, literally had conversations with them where they start to romanticize prison. So he becomes what you call institutionalized. So he starts to collect identity from his time in prison, right? So while he was in prison, man, you don't even know. I used to have stuff on my books all the time. Everybody knew me in there. I was the man in there. He started talking about it like he was in Disneyland or something. So that's how you know with the jailbirds, it can go any way. Usual is the young woman, and I would say the middle age. Career woman and old lady. Old lady, they be watching the news all the time. They already scared of the planet. That's all they need is something like that. So he's usually transitioning. Sometimes it's really hard for him to get a job, things like that. Next level, we getting into the professionals here, okay? These are higher ups, okay? The house hopper. Oh, he's a good one. He's crafty. So this one is very charismatic. He's normally clean cut, good looking, normally doesn't look bad. Normally has some type of artistic endeavor. So let's say he's just one step away from greatness. One step away from his big break. All he needed was them to just look over that one script and he would have had it. I was just talking to my boy, and all he needs is somebody believe in him. Okay? So his name victim is normally her, okay? Her not so much because she only doesn't have the income that he needs to really bum. But his favorite is going to be her. She's going to be the favorite, okay? Because she just needs to believe in that dream. Unfortunately for her, that day's not going to come because he's a professional bum, okay? So he just goes from woman to woman to woman. He gathers a lot of resources, different friends, family. He knows how to talk. He knows how to get what he wants. Normally dresses pretty nice. House hoppers up in the professional level. Last but not least are the top tier. This is the house husband. This actually comes with some honor and decency, okay? These guys are not usually the worst form of hobosexuals, okay? And some people might even say it's respectable, okay? If he's a really good house husband, he'll keep the house clean. He'll keep the food on the table. Everything will be good. He even takes care of the kids. He gonna make sure everything's all right. He normally takes a lot of pride in his craft. Sometimes the wife will give him the check and he divvies it up, normally pretty happy. So this is top tier, okay? Some people don't want to practice it because they consider it a form of homosexuality. Some people don't. But if this is the highest level, okay? A lot of men aspire to reach this level, okay? And then next, you have the young gigolo. So his relationships with women is also transactional. He's just more of a professional than the house hopper, okay? So the house hopper is not as direct, but both of them operate in subtlety, okay? So he's able to elicit more out of women because he normally has a good body and you already know. I ain't got to get into etc. But what people don't know is it's a craftiness to this as well. He can't just come out and say, get me a car. No. Women don't want to feel used, right? So he's going to say, she's going to be like, wow, you didn't even come visit me the day before. Oh, man, my car. Every time I started, there's something wrong with it. I've been needing another car, man. I know that's why I wasn't able to visit you. Or, hey, you never called me. Oh, it's because my house. I'm always in there with all these roommates. They're always making all this noise. That's why I can't do it. I just need a place to stay. And his favorite is her. She loves it, I'll get you a house, baby. I'll get you a car. I would, she's going to help with that transaction with that. Also loves her. These two are not usual victims of the gigolo because they can still get a little bit more without having to do too much. But these are his favorite. And there you guys have it. That's the art of hobosexuality.
let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube. And that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, so let's get into this. So, for those of you who don't know, we'll start off with the definition. What is a hobosexual? So, a hobosexual is a man, usually a man, who pretends to be romantically interested in you just to move into your home. He is operating out of survival. Love bombing is often very much a part of this behavior. And in cooler months is where you will see a severe uptake of this behavior from men, especially towards women that they usually would not entertain or be interested in when it is nicer months outside, etc. These men are operating in survival mode. Let's just get that clear. So, like I said, when the weather is cooler, that is when they're most prominent. If you live in a place where you actually get like cold winter weather or snow or things like that, you really need to watch out when you are out in public. It could be as casual as going to the grocery store, but absolutely if you're doing anything social. Not all hobosexuals look like they're unhoused or homeless. A lot of times they can be men that are very well put together. They're not always the bummy dude. So in watching these clips, I thought it was really important to make sure I have that in. Beware of any man when you first meet him. You know, you meet a guy, you're talking, and he wants to get in your space, your personal space, meaning he wants to get in your house. He wants access to like, oh, let's do a house date. Let's Netflix and chill. We're grown. Netflix and chill isn't dates. We've established that already. If you haven't, listened to my other videos. But do not allow him to enter your domain too quickly. He does not need to know what you have. Don't take any joke as a joke, okay? About him using your stuff or, oh, you know, you work so-and-so. I could drive your car in a day. Those aren't jokes. That's foreshadowing. Leave that man alone, okay? If this is someone that you have kind of seen how they operate and they seem to always be bouncing from woman to woman, that's a pattern that you really need to take into account when you're like, oh, is this guy really worth my time? Likely if he's bouncing that much, he's a hobosexual. But even if he's not a hobosexual, there's a reason that he can't maintain any type of healthy connection with the women that he seems to be, you know, dealing with. He got some things that he need to take care of, and you don't want to invite his problems, whether it's, you know, homelessness or something else, into your life. So pay attention to patterns. Also, you'll see a seasonal shift in his behavior around holidays, I would say, about hobosexuals, especially between like Christmas to Valentine's Day, because you have to remember he's also going to keep multiple women in a rotation. Just because he's living with you or staying with you the majority of time doesn't mean he is in any way faithful. Remember, this is a survival technique. These men are in survival mode. And instead of operating on an up and up, like, you know, getting a job, getting established, having their own shit, they would rather you channel all of their energy and talents into being predatory, because this is a predatory behavior towards women. So those are just some warnings about hobosexuals and how they kind of move throughout the year. And you'll also notice if you are dealing with a hobosexual come springtime, especially if you live in a place that has 4 seasons, you will notice his interest waning. You will notice him staying out longer, later and later. Do not allow these men to get in your house, and then it'll be a lot easier, or you won't have to kick them out of your house, because that's what's eventually going to come to pass. So some precautions for yourself, because I really want to get into it. Just looking at this video, I thought it was funny. Ask directly in dating, you know, ask if he has his own place to stay. Honestly, as grown as we are, you know, for the folks that listen to my content, this should be a first date question, you know, just to get a sense of what his lifestyle is like, and expected to be asked that in return. That's fair. And it doesn't mean you have to give, you know, your address and details, but you should get a good sense of where this man lives. Where is his abode? Okay. If he gets nervous or tries to change the subject or seems to get angry or whatever, that's a sign you probably need to leave him alone. So, also, don't be so quick, especially when it's colder. And I know a lot of women do this. I've done it myself because it's easier if you're in a place that gets colder. But even just in the fall, you will see that you're more prone to do things that are a little more at home, even when you're kicking it with somebody, once you get a level of comfort. For safety reasons, you want to really be cautious about that. But for the fact is, you don't want some man coming to your house, seeing your address, and then trying to claim residency by getting some mail with his name and your address on it. So I would definitely keep that out the mix for a long time of having somebody in your house, because it's just not safe. And then notice any guilt trips. Notice any guilt trips if he say he's going through this and, you don't love me, or you don't really like me and you won't let me kick it. No, those are all manipulation tactics. Hobosexuals are masters of this because, remember, they're operating from a space of survival. Check his place. If you are dating a man and it's kind of to that place where you are interested and comfortable and feel safe enough to start sharing, each other's places, ask him about his place. Check his place. Is his place nasty? Does he have roommates? Does he live with his mama? These are all things to keep in account, and for you to be on very much high alert. I'm not talking about anybody's finances, but understand his living situation. If a grown man's living situation isn't in order, he does not need to be focused on building a relationship at this point in his life. He needs to focus on getting his financial and living situation straight. So even if is not malicious in his intent, you may want to fall back if you're dating a guy and that kind of, pops up and happens. And then don't be flattered by fast attachment. That's part of love bombing. That's part of the hobosexual handbook. They want to get you hooked real quick. And, actually be very wary if after 2-3 dates, he's talking, he's in love and he's trying to get to your stuff. So be cautious, be wary, set boundaries early. Make it very clear about what you will and won't allow. Don't grant access to your physical stuff and property too early. And then, just watch how he moves. Watch how he moves when you tell him no. Watch how he moves when you say he can't have something of yours, can't use something. Watch how he moves when the seasons start to change. Hobosexuality comes in many forms. There's not one form of hobosexual, and not all of them are true. Not all of them are, in the gutter bums. There's some very attractive men who live by mooching off of women and don't have their own, and women pay for their lifestyle. So move with caution and really assess a man's behavior. This also, if you're taking time really getting to know some man's character and how he moves, how he acts, and listen to what he says, it will also keep you from jumping into intimacy too quickly. I am not the moral police. That's not what this is about. This is about, I don't want you to form an attachment with a man who's not worthy of you because he's so busy trying to get to the bag, i.e. your stuff. And that's one of the quickest way to do it. No, the best men in bed are usually the broke men with no home. Okay. Once again, they're operating out of survival. So that's just my feedback on the video, along with some tips that I hope, my audience listens to. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you've ever been caught up in this situation and how you handle it. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode of Ish I Saw on TikTok. Hobosexual season is back. Ladies, don't get played. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you never miss the tea. And if you're ready to protect your peace, set stronger boundaries, and learn how to spot the red flags before you get caught up, join my exclusive coffee community. Inside, you'll get thoughtful coaching prompts, interactive activities, and step-by-step tools that will help you become a more intentional and confident dater. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, the links are below. And be sure to check out my podcast, The Successful Invisible, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Jay Nell, signing off and rooting for your love story.